This is Roy Kick Legend. Today we're going to show you how to create angles with your striking with an option for the takedown. So with my new friend David Hurst from MKG Cleveland. As a high-level martial artist and experienced grappler, we're going to show you how to create some angles with your striking with options for the takedown.
So we're going to work on a combo from a Southpaw situation. Part of this is to help you create some angles to get around your opponent, to keep you safe so it's harder for them to hit you, make it easier for you to hit them. But the nice part about this is it also sets up some really good takedown opportunities. So we're going to start in a Southpaw situation. So I'm going to be in a right lead. What I'm going to be looking to do is get around to the outside of it, okay? I always need to make sure when I'm in my Southpaw lead that my lead foot is on the outside of his foot, not on the inside, not straight in line, because this is going to create a much better angle for me, and it's also going to make it way easier for me to get around to the outside of it, okay? So we're going to use what we call a lead hand trap, where I am going to actually immobilize his lead hand for a split second to get the shot in. So as I arc around to the outside, I'm going to bring this hand down, okay, just enough to get it out of the way, and I'm going to pivot with my hook here, okay? So after that, that gets me into a good position to kind of work on some follow-ups. So I'm going to immobilize and do a lead hand trap here into my pivoting hook. I can drop down into a nice body hook here. Then I can pivot back with a stiff jab, and then that sets up my left kick really well. And as you see, when I do that left kick, I hop a little bit more around to the outside of him. Again, creating a better angle. If I can be over here, this is much safer for me. He has less tools to hit me with. I can get out easier without getting countered, that sort of thing. So I like being in that type of a position because it just keeps me safer and makes it easier for me to hit without getting hit. So,
Once from this side?
Sure. So we're going to be here, lead foot on the outside. I'm going to do that lead hand trap into a pivoting right hook. Drop your level into a nice body hook here. You're going to do a stiff jab to set up that transition, transferring your weight here, coming around into that right kick.
So for the hold, I'm just leaving this out for him to trap, and then holding for the hook, center line or more to my left, depending on what my shoulder can take. And then after he traps this down, I'm going to let this fall to do this horizontal hold, bracing my arm against my body. He can hit this pretty hard, and I find it doesn't really tear my rotator cuff too much, especially if I go with the shot a little bit. And I want to go with the shot because it lines me up for his third punch, right? Holding for the third punch, if I don't turn, I kind of have to brace it against my shoulder or something. So if we're just holding this to develop his hitting power and angling, I can change my angles to preserve my body and allow him to hit full power, full speed. So I can go like this, turn a little bit, turn with the shot, hold here, and then for the left kick. If you're uncomfortable just walking up to your opponent in Southpaw, which you might be, you can also switch behind the jab. So if we're orthodox to orthodox, he's just going to prefix that with the jab and then trap the hand. He can switch via female triangle like I showed in jab cross on the female triangle, or you can even just step. Up to you, up to what you think is going to work for you.
In wrestling, a lot of times when we learn the single leg for the first time, we start in a mismatched lead. I'm going to be hunting his lead leg, so I'm going to change it so that my lead leg is going to be mismatched so it's closer to his, okay? This also inherently puts my head more on the inside on his center line, which is what I'm going to need for that single leg. So when we start in this Southpaw situation, where I'm in a right lead, he's in the left lead, that lead hand trap to the hook sets up the single leg really, really nicely, okay? So I'm going to arc around the outside a little bit, not too deep because I still need to stay close enough to get that single leg, but I'm going to lead hand trap into the hook. Now when I pivot into this hook here, my head stays more or less still on the center line. It's not out here like this. Now my lead foot is even closer to his lead leg, which makes it really easy to drop, drive, capture that leg, push into a single leg situation, okay? So you can use this to get their guard back up. If you hit them here, so I go here, here, he's gonna bring that up. That opens up this whole line. So maybe he's wise to this trick and he knows every time you do that, he knows to already cover. Bam, this line is open, I change levels, my head stays on the inside and I drive to make his leg light to get my single leg takedown.
So you notice I didn't change my hold at all, right? After his first hit, my hand's ready, so he can choose to hit or go for the single leg, so easy on the pad holder.
One of the things with this lead hand trap, if you're having a hard time actually getting the hand out of the way, or if the guy kind of is aware of what you're trying to do and is more apt to cover for that hook, so you can't get it down, or he's going to cover here and you can't get that in. One of the ways that you can kind of trick him into letting you have that is just by starting with some jabs. So you can use your right jab. Most times if they're not covering the jab, they're going to parry it with this hand here. So as I go here, that brings that hand across. That brings that hand across. So you could fake that jab to get that across, and that brings it away from his face, setting up that pivoting hook, okay? So we can feed it in the pad combination like that, where I'm just gonna jab this one a few times, then I'll do it, just to get you to remember, okay, instead of just going for that, maybe I set it up with the jab ahead of time. So we're here, and I just jab here, bam, here, 2, and then I go on 3 here, and bam.
So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. This is Roy with Dave Hurst from MKG Cleveland. Links in the video description. Please check him out if you're in the Cleveland area. Great martial artist, great guy. Keep your chin down, elevate your striking.